I'm poet and writer Kay Spivey. Today I want to do the AuthorTube confession tag, but mostly because a lot of the people I've seen doing it have been talking about it like in relation to burnout. And it's just an interesting thing to think about. A lot of these people who, most of them are very do your work, make it consistent, you have to have a brand. A lot of these people have had really strong brands for like years and years and years on AuthorTube, and now they're starting to feel like they want to present other types of videos. I'm thinking the two that I saw were Natalia Lee and Mandy Lynn, who did this tag basically, but talking about how they want to sort of change their channels and mostly sort of asking for permission to sort of open up their channels to include other aspects of their lives. Whereas for years and years, they've been very much about like their brand of being authors and offering advice. And I thought it was really interesting. This seems to be kind of a pattern. These creators will create kind of a strong niche, encourage other people to create a strong niche, and then sort of burn out on that niche. And I thought about it, and part of the reason that I don't think enough people talk about is that YouTube is really weird. Like traditionally in media, you would have a role to play. If you were the actor in a piece of media, you would be expected to be beautiful and on, paying attention, like giving your full energy. Those would be your two roles. If you were the writer, you wouldn't even necessarily come up with the idea. That might have been a totally different person, but maybe you're coming up with the idea and you're writing the script. And that's it. And you can look like a trash human being. You are doing nothing in front of a camera. You are only writing the script. You're not doing anything else. If you're the director, you are only directing the action, making sure it looks good on the film. That's your only job. If you're editing the video, that's all you do. Like all of these are allocated to someone, and that person can be, and this is like movies, TV, even like talk shows, any other thing where there's like you're watching somebody perform. That's how it's set up. The person, like if you're watching like the Ellen DeGeneres show, she's not writing her own material. She might help with it, but she has a team doing that. Someone else is sitting in front of the camera telling the camera what to point at and like how to focus and directing everything. Somebody else is taking care of the sound. Someone else is taking care of the lighting. Someone else is doing her hair and makeup. Like all she is the actor. She's on. She looks a certain way and she presents a certain way and puts off her energy. That's her only job. When it comes to YouTube, one person, sometimes a small team of people, sometimes you have some people allocating different things, but one person is doing the job of coming up with the idea, perhaps writing the script, perhaps not, doing the hair and makeup, fixing the lighting, fixing the set, which would then be another person's job in most media, directing the camera, uploading and editing. And then your job isn't even done. I may have skipped a couple of steps here, but your job's not even done. I skipped the actor step. Being the person present, being fully beautiful as much as you like to present that you are. Being on, being attentive, being the person presenting the information, being the actor. And then you still have to market yourself. You have to be the person who responds to comments, which would be a different job for somebody else. You have to be the social media manager. You have to be the marketing team. You have to do a dozen different steps, just you by yourself. Of course you burn out. YouTube was sort of created as this like really interesting platform where people could just post what they wanted to. You know, this is where like vlogs come from. You just post about your life because it's fun. It's like a journal entry. It's kind of like running your own blog, but maybe you like looking at yourself or you want other people to look at you, or you enjoy talking more than you enjoy typing. Easy peasy. But then you start having more people come in with different skill sets, more people who either had a team already formed around them or really liked doing things like the high quality editing. We're really good with the being the actor part. People who had certain skill sets started kind of infiltrating the platform and creating teams around them so that they were then doing things more like big media, like movies and TV shows and talk shows and all of those do, where you're allocating roles So one person isn't having to play a million different roles all the time. But not everyone's doing this. Some people are still themselves doing these dozen different roles and expecting themselves to put out, you know, 3 or 4 videos a week. Like, that's crazy. Putting out 1 video a week with that much effort is crazy. This huge team, huge production team where everyone has a different role and everyone only has one job within that wider spectrum. In like, oh, let's say like John Oliver, they're putting out 1 video a week and you're trying to do 3 a week? Just you? Why? Where sometimes people can do it, sometimes people have the energy for like years and years, and then the burnout hits. And the burnout hits maybe because you run out of ideas, maybe because you don't feel like you can be on right now, maybe it feels like you're just sick of editing, because those wouldn't have been your job. You're doing too many things. Yeah, you see it time and time again where someone just hits that burnout wall and wants to do something else, wants to do more like what YouTube was designed for, to put out the things you want when you want to put them out. Like, as one person, that's as much as you can be expected to do. Like, this whole like being a brand and being on and putting out all of this content is hard. It's a lot of work. That's why a lot of people allocate different roles when they get the chance. That's why when you hit, you know, people will hit 100,000 subscribers and suddenly someone else is editing their videos because they can afford it now. Because that's a big part of their day. That's a big job that they've been having to do. Maybe they get somebody else to direct the camera for them and to set up the lighting and everything, because that's a big job. That's really hard to do. You know, being a one-person creator, my lighting and sound probably, I don't have a separate microphone because setting up the sound is so hard that I just have to trust that my camera is going to do a good enough job. And I know a lot of people don't really like the sound that comes through just a normal camera. But at the same time, it's such a significant extra step, and it's such a significant extra step in the editing that I skip it because I'm one person. There are plenty of people who don't skip that step, who set up the sound, set up the lighting, set up everything, and do that every single time. And that's crazy. It is crazy. It's interesting to me that these creators who have been doing these dozen different roles for maybe years, a lot of them, come on and basically ask permission to just post something they enjoy. And it's such a weird thing to be like, this is my channel, this is me presenting myself to you, and yeah, maybe I've created a niche that the creators feel they need to ask the audience to allow them to be themselves. It's like we've created these personas. Yeah, if Ellen DeGeneres were out here being like, hey, I'm suddenly going to be like a race car channel, everyone would be like, oh my. But she would be starting a separate race car channel and it wouldn't affect her show. And people have tried to do this by like creating a second account that's like their vlog account or things like that. But at the same time, like, you're one person. You can have just one channel be the things that you like, especially when it's something as like directly tangential. I think it was Kate Kavanaugh was talking about she wanted to add more booktube content to her authortube channel. I was just like, they're so related. In my mind, there was no gap. A lot of people will talk about how like, oh, they're different things. But in my mind, it's the exact same thing. As an author, you read books. As a person who reads books, you often get interested in writing. Like, they're just so interconnected to me that it made no sense when people were like, well, I kind of want to do this. Is this okay with everyone? I don't get it, but it comes from this place of trying to be too many things, trying to be just the actor on screen, but doing all of the roles in the background. Someone isn't creating material and siphoning it to you and you're just being the person. You're also doing all of the creation, and sometimes that then you want to go in a different direction. You don't get to just jump over to a different show with your new idea. You're still the actor in front of the camera. Like, it's so many roles all interconnected together. Like, no wonder you're burning out. No wonder you want to do other things. But I think it's sad that we have to ask permission of the audience. When you come to YouTube, at least because I've been around from the beginning, and I know it's different now, and I know it's different now because these production teams have really taken over YouTube space. Like, there are such beautiful, such well done videos. They're done by these big teams of people basically creating television again. It feels like you can't do the thing that YouTube was created for, which was to just present yourself having fun, doing something interesting, when you feel like posting it. Like, consistency is what everyone talks about, but at the same time, a lot of my favorite channels don't post consistently. Maybe they're not, you know, 100,000 subscriber channels, but like, some of them are doing pretty well. I feel like you have to kind of judge and balance what you're even capable of. This isn't natural. It's not natural to be doing all of these different roles. And a lot of people are trying to do an entire production team's worth of roles, as well as be an author and be marketing for being an author at the same time. And this is something else that just is like blowing the minds. Realize that an author used to have the job of writing a book, and that was it. You wrote the book, done. That was your whole role in the author process, was you wrote the book, someone else was the main person who edited it, someone else published it, someone else put it out into the world and marketed it. And that's the traditional publishing model. But now people talk about more and more and more how like, oh, it's the author's fault they didn't market enough if the publishing team didn't put out enough marketing. But like, there's been a conversation on Twitter recently about that and how like disgusting that is, that someone else is making money off of you and isn't even willing to put in the effort to market you, and then has the gall to tell you that it's your fault that your book didn't do well. Like, excuse me, did you or did you not make money off of me? That's almost a whole other subject, but like, just think about that. Just think about how recently, very recently, like in the last 5 to 10 years, and if some of you weren't really that old 5 to 10 years ago, and so you really didn't see like the hugely steep uphill climb of this that really like centered around Twitter, let's be honest, it really centered around Twitter becoming big, that this whole trajectory changed in this steep uphill, like now it's all on you, everything is all on you, it's all on you forever. If you didn't see that happen, it might seem like this is normal, but this is crazy. Like, this is insane that an author is expected to not only be writing books and sometimes publishing multiple books a year, but also doing all of the marketing for it on their own is crazy. And you are going to hit a burnout at some point because you're just being on all the time, especially if you're doing all of that and all of this. Obviously you're going to burn out, and that anyone expects you to do this full-time all the time and always be on and always doing exactly the same kind of content and never just do something for fun. That's crazy. Like, of course you want to share things that are just fun things to share. Yeah, it hurts to lose some subscribers, but there also shouldn't be a fear that you're losing valuable subscribers. Like, the whole system has become so twisted around that whole idea. It's kind of disgusting. Obviously people are more stressed. Obviously people get depressed more often when like all this hard work isn't paying off. Obviously that's depressing. Obviously it's stressful if you're losing a whole bunch of subscribers because you put out something that was really fun for you, but now maybe you were relying on that money for like paying your rent and now you're not getting enough for it. Like, obviously that is stressful, and obviously that creates anxiety, and obviously then you try and work harder and burn yourself out harder in the end. Like, we've created a system that cannot work. All that said, this has been really long just rambling. I do want to get into the tag now, so I'm going to go ahead and do the AuthorTube confession tag. I had initially kind of passed this one by because it seemed like a lot of technical stuff, but first question. How many hours a week do you spend filming and editing? Recently, not terribly many. If I am putting out a video, I spend maybe a half hour filming. I try not to go over a half hour because editing is my nightmare. Video editing is my absolutely nightmare. I mean, it's not good for my wrists. I get frustrated doing it, but that takes a good like hour to 2 hours because I do the quick edit through, and then I go back through to like clean edit and to add in any little things that I need to add in, and then I will watch it another time. So if the video is a half hour long, just doing that is probably 2 hours straight up right there. And then it's gotta upload, and then you gotta add everything else in, and yeah, I think easily the editing takes longer. Getting kind of made up. I don't do too much makeup. I don't know how much you can see. It's like cover up. I mean, I have a nasty pimple going on. I'm breaking out like crazy. So there was a lot of makeup that had to go on today. But I don't really do too much to my eyebrows, just kind of barely fill them in because I just have thick eyebrows and I've never done anything about it. I do pretty fast makeup. I'm not really that skilled with the makeup. I'm mostly just trying to make myself look presentable on camera because it really picks up on all your feature flaws, and if I don't use kind of thick mascara and a good dark eyeliner, my eyes wash out just because they're blue, and that's what blue eyes do that on camera. Getting it set up, doing the filming and all of that, it takes a good several hours, but I do it only like once a week because I'm only posting about once a week because I'm trying to be realistic about my life. If I'm filming several videos, if I really feel like I have a lot of energy, then maybe the filming will take longer just because I'm filming more videos at once. What kind of camera do you use? I use a Canon SX730HS, which I got refurbished. So I got it for a lot less than it cost. I waited until this was the last year model when I got it, and I got it refurbished. So I got it for I think $300, which is a lot, but I had been planning to spend a lot on a nice camera because my old vlogging camera was really old. It was from 2010. If you watch the videos at the start of this channel, or if you watch them way at the start, it's the same camera up until like a couple years ago where I switched over to this one, and it looks a lot nicer. It is not the like best camera. It was the cheapest best camera at the time that I got it. I saved and invested in getting one that was really decent and that had an up above flip screen. That was what was important to me. Was I look at myself constantly, but the up above one looks less weird when someone's looking up at themselves. Like right now, this looks less freaky than if I'm looking over here. Like if I'm looking over here, you can tell where my eyes are, but if I'm looking up, it almost looks like I'm looking at you, especially with the ring light behind it. It almost looks like it, so I can get away with looking at myself more often. Was the whole reason I wanted the up above flip. Number 3, why do you vlog? Sometimes it's how I motivate myself to get writing, to do the vlogs. I enjoy it, honestly. Doing just like talking and technical videos, I think has a lot more application, but I enjoy just filming myself doing something. I think it's more fun to set up the different angles and to kind of maybe not put on a face quite so much, but just kind of be myself and just chat. And I think I enjoy that kind of video, and I think it gets less views, but it gets more people who care about me watch vlogs than people who are just here for content. And I think sometimes that just feels nice to like know that the people who watch that video are the ones who like actually care about me. So sometimes you just do it as a little bit of like self-therapy. Plus I like to show off my cats, and like that goes into the vlogs most of the time. They don't always come over when I'm filming, but you know, if they do, I try and point them out. Who are your favorite YouTubers? I literally just posted a video. I have 2 videos recommending booktube, authortube, poetry tubers who I adore, who are wonderful and who you should check out. So I will link those ones, but also like I follow a lot of the big ones. I follow like Kate Kavanaugh. She does vlog styles about being an author. Alexa Dunn, if you need like in-depth industry information about traditional publishing, she's got all the info. If you are like into the querying, into the like publishing, she has like in-depth information for you. I like Jenna Marassi. I think her videos are a lot of fun, just for like little soundbite writing advice. Who else are the like big ones who have like 100,000 subscribers or more? Like, go check out my videos because those really have like everybody I love in more depth, but those are the like big 3 I can think of that are like everybody follows those 3. You monetize your videos? I would, and I will when I can, because like I said earlier, you're doing all this work and they're giving you chump change. You might as well take the chump change. People who for any moral reason don't monetize their videos but still post their videos on this platform, I don't understand. You might as well take the money. You're putting in so much effort. What's one thing you're excited about in the upcoming year? I am excited to finish, I don't know if this was supposed to be like something bigger than this, but I'm excited to finish writing my, to finish the revisions on my Study Abroad novel and to start querying it. And I may have come up with like the fix Circuit needs. I may begin a rewrite of Circuit again in the summer. I would like to do that, but I want to be at the point that I am querying my other novel before I start doing that again, because circuit has been the story of my heart, but like it needs help. And I know now what help it needs and why it wasn't working, but it's gonna take a lot. So I need to get this other novel sent off to the presses, you know, as best I can. What's your most awkward filming moment? I mean, when I first started, it was pretty cringe, but I think that's true of everyone. The ones that like still kind of are because I don't always catch myself. I'll say things really strangely sometimes, but sometimes, and I've done it 2 times that I actually feel kind of horrified about, where I've misgendered people just because as I'm talking and I just say a pronoun because my brain is just hardwired to do that, I guess. I'll say a pronoun where it's not an appropriate pronoun for the person, and then occasionally when I'm editing it back I still don't catch it, and I'm really trying to be better about it because it's rude, and I was rude in those videos, and I've tried to at least put disclaimers rather than just take it down because it was already caught by people. And so that I think would be my most, I don't know if that's awkward, but like horrifying. Like I'm trying my best to not do that again, and really is just like a lack of due diligence on my part, so I feel bad about that. What are your goals for your channel? I'd like to be at the point where I could monetize. If I was at the point where I could monetize the videos, I would do that. And then I would keep going. I mean, I enjoy, this is like with writing, like I do it anyway. I enjoy doing this. Like I'm reading books, so I'm gonna put up book reviews at some point when I'm really passionate about something. I like talking about like certain things that bother me. I sometimes like doing vlogs, like I'll do them. I don't think I'm ever going to, I mean, sometimes I'll like get into a mood and I'm like, I'm gonna post so many videos. January I posted so many videos, but I think my goals are a little more subdued. If I got to 10,000 subscribers, I'd be very, very pleased. I don't think I'm ever going to like brand myself in the way that like I could get 100,000 subscribers, like some of the people who have that many. But who knows, I might get really passionately into a topic, and you know, my poetry videos do very well. As I think of poetry videos to post, I tend to grow subscribers there, and I really appreciate that, and I might fall more into that niche over the coming years. But yeah, we'll see. I don't have a ton of goals, but I really want to get to the 1,000 subscribers so I can monetize and then see where it goes from there. What are your favorite types of videos to make? To make, probably I enjoy making the vlogs. They're a lot of fun. I hate editing them. I really like doing the editing on like the talky ones, where like this is pretty good, especially if it's a tag and it has some structure, so I don't have a ton of just like dead space and ums, because I do spend a lot of time cutting out my ums, and I know some of them slip in, but sometimes they're hard to edit out, so you get a few of them. But yeah, editing out the dead space and the ums is hard, and making sure I don't say anything that's too stupid on camera. What makes talking in front of the camera comfortable for you? Literally just doing it for a couple years now. I feel pretty comfortable. I do it when my husband's out of the house. I think it's much harder when he's in the house. I talk much softer, and I keep the door shut. I try and talk very quickly and get everything done very quickly, whereas when he's gone, I'm just like, I'm chilling, I'm fine, no problems. Because I've been doing this for a while, and it's the same with the editing. I have to have headphones on so other people can't hear me hearing myself when I'm editing. But yeah, it's just doing it a lot. You get used to it. I mean, this is kind of normal. It's kind of fun. Maybe it's because of the pandemic. I don't talk to people that much anymore, but like it's nice to talk and be like, I'm gonna be heard by someone somewhere down the line. Do you or will you allow your kids to be in your videos? I have had a conversation with my husband about this. We don't have any kids yet, but he is very like, he's off social media completely. He doesn't really want to appear in my videos, even though I think there have been glimpses of him in past videos. He's not into like, he's not gonna sit down and do a tag with me, which is totally fine. He's more of the like, that's really just for family things. Like he has no problem with me posting like photos on Facebook, even though, just as an example, but he would rather not have children in like YouTube or in like my professional life setting, which I think is really fair. There are levels of danger that come with it. When you're a really small creator, I think there's just not really a problem. Like again, the people watching your vlogs where your family's in it are probably the people who love you. I used to watch Roman Atwood's vlogs back in the day. I I mean, they're not even posting anymore, I don't think. So it's not even that I fell out, it's that they fell out. They're kind of the extreme example of like when it gets bad, but his kids have been stalked at school. His kids have been strangers trying to pick them up from school before, like really scary things where they had to pull their kids out of school to homeschool them. That's terrifying. That would be very traumatizing for a child. It'd be very traumatizing as an adult hearing about your child. He's very big. He has a very like oddly cult following from back in his days of doing prank videos, which I actually think he had some of the safer prank videos out there that they really were more pranky and less harmful and scary, which some people think is a prank. But like if you elicit fear in someone else, it's not a prank. Like that's just eliciting fear in someone. Like a good prank should make the other person laugh. And if the other person isn't laughing, your prank sucked. Like it was a bad prank or it was just cruel. Just saying. But anyway, that all aside, there are levels of safety of having children in your videos. And I think perhaps like there will be glimpses. I'm not going to like edit them out, but I probably won't like, I'm not going to have like a mommy vlog. I'm not going to follow them around with a camera. I might be like, oh, I had a baby, but I probably won't. Especially as they're growing older and they're getting into school, I probably wouldn't have them on my videos unless they like definitely wanted to be on camera. And I think there's also the problem where a lot of kids want to be on camera until they hit kind of a certain point, and then they're like, too many people know too much about me and it's really weird. I certainly like, if I was hitting puberty, I wouldn't want my parents putting me online. Like if I were going to be online, I'd want it to be completely under my own terms, because that's an awkward time in your life and you don't want people seeing something that you don't approve of, you know, that kind of thing. It would be a very like as it comes. If I have too many subscribers, I would be very careful with my children being on camera when that happened. If I'm, you know, around this level, they might slip in every now and then and I wouldn't worry too much. Is that the nutshell? That was a long nutshell about that. Is your spouse supportive of your YouTube channel? Completely. He thinks it's great. If I hit milestones, he's really happy for me. He's not like, he doesn't know that much about BookTube, AuthorTube, but like if I'm watching someone, he supports it. He has some AuthorTubers that he enjoys watching as well. Yeah, no, totally supportive. Also, if you're married to someone and they're not supportive of your YouTube career, like, why are you married to them? Or, like, no, yeah, but why are you married to someone if they're not supporting your YouTube career? Like, maybe you need to also have a career on the side where you're making money or something. I don't know, maybe it's something like that, but like, if it's just for fun, people should support your things you're doing for fun. Okay, the very last one, and this video is gonna be so much longer than I intended, but the last one is share one tip for someone just starting out on YouTube. Don't have very high expectations, but also don't be afraid to create your space. What I mean by that is, if you only have 1 or 2 subscribers for like a year, that's not abnormal. I only had 50 subscribers for like my first year or 2. Once you hit certain points, it does start to grow exponentially, and like, yeah, you can do certain things to make people find your channel, to make it grow. But at the same time, like, allow yourself to experiment while you have very few subscribers. And then as you grow, the thing you need to keep in mind is people will find you and not all of them are going to be nice. And if you feel uncomfortable by something someone said, you need to set your precedent for blocking them early on. You need to set the precedent for like, these are the things that I allow in my community and these are the things I don't allow. You need to set your space. If you love having trolls and like rude people or stalkers or whatever, if that's fun for you, you go for it. You can interact with whoever you want to, but like if that makes you uncomfortable at all, if it makes the experience not fun, do not be afraid to block people out, because the more you grow, it'll start normally after like 100 subscribers. People aren't really finding you before then, but you might get somebody, especially if one of your videos were to take off. But you'll start to get more and more people who are just there to troll, just there to click the thumbs down. You need to set up your space in a way that makes you feel safe and appreciated, because again, you're doing all this for free. You don't need to deal with assholes. Just keep that in mind if you're just starting for the first time. Oh, I'll put pie up here so it seems more lovey. If you're just starting for the first time, people will always cry like censorship or things like that's not what censorship is. Covet your space a way that makes you feel comfortable and do it from the beginning so that there's not sort of a precedent for you like allowing trolls around and then suddenly you cut them out. Like, start off making your space safe for you. That is everything. Was that pretty long? That was an intense one, huh? Oh, hi. Yeah, baby. Sorry it was so long and rambly. You just gotta get some things off your chest in terms of AuthorTube confessions. If you haven't done the AuthorTube confession tag and you are an AuthorTuber, go ahead and do it as well, because, you know, be interesting, have more people's opinions out there in the world. Have a great day. I will speak to you again probably next week. And good luck to you, good luck to all of us. And Pi says bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Oh, you're done now, huh? He's just being floppy. Alright, bye.